So where are the new moon videos for September? Hi everyone, it's Donna. I am here to tell you that there are no new moon videos for September because, as you can see by my backdrop, I just moved and I have completely lost track of time. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to go through the chart and tell you about some of the highlights that I see to hopefully guide you through, and then I will be back on track in October. So if you have any questions, of course, please leave me a message in the comment section below and I will get to your individual questions when I can. This is the new moon in Virgo, and it's at 25 degrees of Virgo, which means it's making an exact trine to Saturn. Now, there's a very interesting thing that happens with the trine to Saturn. It means that all that Saturn represents, which is sometimes blocks, sometimes that expertise, that desire to do well in society, to look good, but also your ability to achieve, that all easily happens now. And so there are quite a few job opportunities, ways for you to expand your career, but there's also very easy ways to feel that you're blocked, to feel that you are impeded by somebody who you, in your mind, have set up as the authority, who may not be the authority, who may be just somebody that you've decided knows more than you. So with this Saturn, you have these great opportunities, and I do want you to take those, but it is always going to be a climb. Saturn in Capricorn means you're climbing to the top of the mountain. So look for ways that you can focus on something that's a little harder, slightly outside your comfort zone, something that's going to take some effort, because that's the direction to go. Now, the North Node, which has been doing that in conjunct to the Saturn, now has moved on and there is some separation, but we still have some residual energy of that in conjunct. And that means that deep down, you may not feel that the career you're doing is completely in line with your life path. And so here's where I would say you got to get creative, because you may have a job that's not fulfilling, but you have time outside of your job where you can do things that are fulfilling. And those things can grow into your career. So it's sometimes, I know we live in a world with a lot of distractions and there's so much going on in the world. You know, I'm out on the West Coast here in California, and of course there's so much going on here, but wherever you are in the world, yes, there's a lot going on. But if you can take even 10 minutes a day to really follow your path, or if you are just discovering your path, that you can say to yourself, all right, I'm not sure what direction I should be going, but that's okay, because I'm going to sit here and meditate on different possibilities for myself. What do I like? What do I feel is important to me? What would I change in the world if I could change something? All of that will lead you to your path. And so with this particular new moon and that North Node in the third house, this is a way that you can find out your life path by journaling, by asking questions of yourself, by asking questions through prayer or meditation or things like that. That can help you discover your path. So Mars is moving back to make a square to that Saturn, and Mars is action, and of course Saturn's that brick wall. And so you might be feeling like, there's going to be some blocks ahead, and that's okay, again, because the blocks are going to be something that you climb over or you figure out how to go around. The obstacle just says you're on the right path. So when you are living a life that has no obstacles, where there's nothing to cause you to work, that's actually you being still and not growing. And that's not good, because at that point it's kind of like a peak and then the decline happens. So always be looking for where the block is. That's going to help you out. And so this Mars square Saturn is going to be kind of a force going forward, hitting the wall and saying, all right, I have to now stop and pause for a moment and look for a different way of getting done what it is I want to get done. And this can be something maybe even personal, where you say, like you have big plans and you say, when I get home, I'm going to work on my novel, or I'm going to work on my videos or things like that, or I'm going to finish unpacking. And you get home and you're tired, or you find so many distractions with the phone and things like that. And this says to just stop and pause and maybe sit on a chair on your balcony if that's possible, or sit on your bed for a moment without the phone and just breathe and just feel the energy, so that you have that pause, that Saturn interruption taken up with something positive, and then you'll be able to move on. Venus is past the square with Uranus, and so this is about being indecisive a little bit, of saying, oh, I want something, and then you order it, and then you cancel it, and then you think maybe you want it again. So that energy is really dissipating now, and so this was just so you could explore new things. This is a great time, while we still have a little tiny bit of this energy left, to try new foods, to go new places. Well, we can't go a lot of new places right now, but even if you take a different route to the supermarket so that you see a different neighborhood or things like that. But this energy is dissipating pretty quickly. Now, one energy that is quite tight is that Mercury square Jupiter. Love that energy for exploring new topics, for studying, for learning anything new. And of course, YouTube is a wonderful way. Every time I say, oh, I don't know how to do this, I go on YouTube, and some very generous person out there has done a video on it. Actually, usually 1,000 generous people have done a video on it. And it's just so helpful that we get to share this information and tell other people, so that, we basically lift all of society. That's wonderful. Of course, there's a lot of things on YouTube that are not so good, but, that's just, we can click away from those things. We can click on something else. Anyway, Mercury square Jupiter, especially in this relationship sign of Libra, that does say that connecting with others, either through, some social media, or phoning up somebody and saying, hey, how do you do this? Because Jupiter's about knowledge and spirituality and being connected to all. There is that ability right now for you to say, okay, I need some help, and you can get the help, or you say, I have help to offer, and someone then comes and says, oh, thank you very much. That's what I needed. Mercury's going to move forward and in conjunct that Neptune, and that is that, with the Neptune you have a vision, but it can be one that's very positive or very fearful. And so that Mercury being in an inconjunct, being in a quincunx with that, is causing you to say, well, what is the truth here? And where am I fooling myself? Well, what is that I'm trying to see this maybe in a good light versus just completely obfuscating the truth. So it is about saying, I want to be practical, I want to know what's right, but I also want to take a more positive attitude. And so this allows you to make some adjustments in that area. So when we look overall, at, say, relationships, we have a lot of fun and romance energy, because we have that Venus in the 5th house in Leo, just finishing that square with Uranus. So that's really fun. So for all signs, there can be some romance happening. When we look at home life, that is ruled by that moon, of course, which is in the new moon. And so this is about taking care of your home. Maybe you have boxes to unpack like I do, or maybe you just need to do some decluttering, or you're doing some renovations, but that's the overall energy that's happening. I'm getting a lot of calls from clients right now who are thinking about moving or who have just moved. For people who are doing their career, or this is that trine from Saturn to the Sun Moon. So there are quite a few business and career opportunities for all signs right now. So, and again, it just takes you stepping out of your comfort zone, then everything happens really easily. So That's really great. When we are looking at money, it is ruled by that Venus in the 5th, so there is a strong desire to take some risks right now, and these risks could be good but may not be, so you want to, because the Venus loves the risks, it wants to take the chances, but you can't always do that, so step back and make sure that you don't bet everything you have. Just small little bets are fine, but overall, you're coming off that square to Uranus, you're moving forward. What do we have? We're going to do the sextile to Mercury, so getting some information, but an inconjunct to Jupiter, an inconjunct to Neptune. So that says that things may not work out exactly like you're thinking. So be cautious when you're doing some risky investments. Otherwise, with Uranus there and the Mars right there, of course Mars is backing off, but with the Mars right there, you might be looking at changing your spending habits and things like that. That's always a good idea to, be mindful of your money. So Mars rules your investments as well as that Pluto. So the Mars retrograde may mean it's time to go in and look at what your investments are and see if you would still buy these investments at the current price. If you say no, it might be time to get out of those investments. Also to look at investment managers and see if you like the person you're working with, if you feel that they've been helpful to you. As the market is going, right now it seems to be flattening out a little bit, but of course, as we get closer towards the end of the year, there are going to be some gyrations. As we get into 2021, in my Chinese astrology videos, which are also coming, but I do have a couple on YouTube right now, but we're going to go into the year of the metal ox, and so there's much more of an energy of rebuilding happening, and so we'll be looking at how people can place their money in places where there's more of a building energy instead of all these gyrations. And then when we look at money derived from career, that is the Uranus in that second house. So we do show some interruptions if you have a regular 9 to 5, maybe hours are being cut, or maybe, commissions are lower or things like that. And so it's really good to diversify how you're getting your income to see if you can find other ways of getting money in. And again, I wanted to do all the videos for all the signs, but I just ran out of time. I knew this move was coming up, but it's still, I have a lot of earth in my chart, and so I have too much stuff, and so it took longer than I thought. So again, if you have any questions, please leave me a comment in the comment section below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you like videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.